Now at 6 on WKYT this morning, we'll have the latest on Hurricane Matthew hitting Georgia and now moving into South Carolina. And we're looking at an alert on UK's campus. Police warning that people are driving around throwing water and using racist slurs. We'll tell you what you should look out for. And in Jessamine County, people driving along one highway are seeing rocks thrown at their cars. We'll have that story and more coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning, I'm Michelle Chamberlain. Thanks so much for joining us. It's Saturday, October 8th. We are still following Hurricane Matthew this Saturday morning, and we're also looking at today's weather here in Lexington. Joining us now is meteorologist Micah Harris with a look at your forecast.
Yeah, crossing our fingers that this thing gets out of here as soon as possible. Just an update if you're just now waking up. The actual eye is right along that coast. As of right now, by definition, has not made landfall, but it should here in just about, I would say, an hour or two. Charleston really getting the brunt of it. Myrtle Beach getting some tremendous amounts of rain, already adding up 5+ inches along the coast, and it's not even close to being done. Temperatures are there in the 50s and 60s this morning, but let me tell you this, it's not really going to budge that much as we get in towards your afternoon, and we'll actually be there around that 67-degree reading. It's going to be much, much cooler today. Not only the temperatures, but that breeze outside. You can really feel it early this morning. So get ready to maybe throw on a sweater before you take off. I'll show you that forecast for your whole weekend. Show you if you have any chance of rain. That's coming up.
Thank you, Mike. And as you can see behind me, Hurricane Matthew is weakening, but the Category 2 storm is causing major problems as it lashes the southeast with torrential rain and destructive winds. Edward Lawrence reports from Charleston, South Carolina.
The wind-whipped rain fell in sheets overnight as Hurricane Matthew moves north along the southeast coast.
The best thing now is to just hunker down, stay in a safe place, don't move, don't try and move around. Make sure you have your cell phones charged.
In Folly Beach, South Carolina, Matthew churned up heavy waves and dangerous surf, while heavy rain and flooding pounded Savannah, Georgia. And in Charleston, the streets were abandoned after the city ordered a midnight to 6 a.m. curfew. Hurricane Matthew sent the southeast coast into high alert, becoming the most powerful storm to hit the United States in over a decade.
Flash flood watches are out when you add this much water on top of the salt water moving in. Certainly flooding could be a big concern heading into the weekend.
More than 1 million people are without power in Florida after Matthew's fierce winds knocked down trees and power lines.
I lived through Hurricane Andrew in Homestead, so I was expecting some crazy stuff.
Edward Lawrence, CBS News, Charleston, South Carolina.
Now, the storm is blamed for at least 4 deaths in the United States and hundreds more in the Caribbean. In South Carolina, a Winchester native who now lives in Hilton Head is worried about what he will see when he gets back home. Ross Todd is a college student who moved to Hilton Head from Winchester just over a year ago. Now he is one of the hundreds of thousands of people who have evacuated because of Hurricane Matthew. Todd says he grabbed 4 days worth of clothes and is now at a family member's house 2 hours away. He wishes he could have brought more things.
Now that I see what I'm seeing, and if I was more prepared, I would have grabbed everything I could, whatever I could have fit in my truck, and I would have got out of there. Looking back, I'm kind of upset that I didn't grab everything that I could, but I'm just hoping and praying for the best.
Todd says he saw gas lines where people waited hours just to fill up their tanks. He says he doesn't expect to get back home until Tuesday. More help from Kentucky is on the way to hurricane victims in the southeast. Multiple electric companies in the Bluegrass are sending crews to help restore power. And the Red Cross is sending more than 24 workers from Kentucky. To some of the hardest hit areas, that's where they're going. Now, one of them told us she's traveled around the world to help those in need.
Straight out of college, I went to Vietnam with the Red Cross. And I spent a year there. And ever since, you know, the Red Cross has a very special place in my heart.
3 members of the Lexington Fire Department are already in Lakeland, Florida, ready to help where they are needed. For the latest updates on the storm, keep checking our website, WKYT.com, or you can download the WKYT News app for free in the app or Google Play Store. The University of Kentucky Police Department is issuing a warning to all students and staff to be on the lookout. They say a group of people had been driving around and throwing water on people and using racist slurs. Police say it happened on Huguelet Avenue. That's between Rose Street and South Limestone. WKYT's Mike Byers live out at UK with more. Mike?
Good morning, Michelle. UK police sent out a release last night saying multiple people have been hit with water on campus, as well as had racial slurs yelled at them. Now, police say a woman had it happen to her on Thursday night on Higlet Drive on campus. After investigation, more people came forward saying the same thing happened to them. Police say that if you see something, say something. They also want to make sure you carry a cell phone so you can call for help in emergencies. Now, described as a silver four-door car, but that's the only description we have on it. Now again, please say to be aware while walking around on campus, and if you see anything unusual or what you have just heard, to contact UK police. Live on UK's campus, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. Police are looking for the person responsible for throwing rocks at cars in Jessamine County. The Jessamine County Sheriff's Office says at least 8 cars have been hit by large rocks this week. It's happening along US 27 northbound near the Kentucky River Bridge. Police are increasing patrols in the area to try and catch the suspects.
Vehicles traveling this road at 55 to 60 miles an hour being struck by a rock through the windshield is very disturbing and distracting.
Police say no one has been injured so far, and they say the only description they have of the suspect is a man in an all-white outfit. Schools across Kentucky will start seeing new videos clearing up misconceptions about drugs and drug users. The U.S. Attorney's Office says it hopes the videos will keep students from starting to use drugs such as heroin. The videos are posted on YouTube. They tell the story of a person or family impacted by heroin. Now, one of the families who took part in the video says they want to keep other families from going through the same thing.
They have to be really aware of who their kids are around, because we didn't see it coming.
All 4 of the videos will be posted on the U.S. Attorney's website. We'll have a link of those videos on our website, WKYT.com. The Kentucky Supreme Court is getting ready to hear a case about panhandling here in Lexington. A man named Dennis Champion is appealing a ticket he received that said he violated a Fayette County ordinance of begging and soliciting upon public streets. Champion says it violates his right to free speech. Now, the county argues it is a matter of public safety. One person agrees with Champion that it is his right.
As far as the actual panhandling, it's part of our constitutional rights, and I will be awfully, very, very upset if our state Supreme Court were to rule any other way.
The state Supreme Court will hear the case in Frankfort next Friday. The University of Kentucky has a newly renovated building on campus. UK held a grand opening for its new Gatton College of Business and Economics building. The renovation and expansion added new high-tech classrooms and a simulated trading floor. The building now has a maximum capacity of 4,000 students. That's an increase of 1,200.
It's not only bigger, it's better because of all the technology and the spaces for students to hang out and to be here, to be more engaged with us. They're just going to perform better and do better in the job market.
The Gatton project was the first building on UK's campus to be funded entirely through donations. Now let's take a look at what's happening today around central Kentucky. In Mount Sterling, there will be a 5K honoring a state trooper. The Run for the Donuts 5K starts at 8:30 this morning at Easy Walker Park. The Fraternal Order of Police and Wives Behind the Blue are putting on the race. The winner will receive the Trooper Blake Tribby Memorial Award. Trooper Blake Tribby was killed in an accident while off duty. WKYT's Amber Philpott will be there as the MC for the event. And for all UK fans out there, today's game is homecoming, so that means there'll be a tailgate tent party. The UK Alumni Association is inviting alumni and fans to the Tobacco Research Lawn at the corner of Cooper and University Drives. The tent party starts at 1:30, and there will be a barbecue meal along with entertainment, giveaways, and a special musical performance by J.D. Shelburne. Today's game against Vanderbilt starts at 4 p.m. You can watch the game on the SEC Network. Also in Lexington is the annual Barktoberfest. The event is put on by Paws for the Cause. It will be held at Blue Stallion Brewery, which is just off of West 3rd Street in downtown Lexington. It starts at noon, and there will be a live band, great food, and of course, plenty of adoptable pets. Barktoberfest ends around 4 o'clock this afternoon. So your time now is 6:09 on this Saturday morning, and WKYT This Morning is just getting started. New rail trails are opening in eastern Kentucky. We'll take you there to show you what you want to look for. And a farm in China has a great way to make pigs run, jump, and race. That's coming up after Micah's forecast.
We are still tracking Matthew, and we got a ways to go with the system. However, for us here in Lexington and the surrounding areas of Kentucky, it looks really good. I'm going to show you that forecast coming up.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
I'm looking around. I don't see Chris Bailey in here. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris, getting you updated on your morning. It's typically Mike Linden, but he's still getting on that honeymoon, coming back and kind of relaxing here on this Saturday. So good morning to you, Mike. I got you, buddy. Defender Radar Network, there's your look outside. And we did have some rain overnight into the early morning hours, far eastern and southeastern Kentucky. You got to get into the mountainous regions, and that's about it. Temperatures right now actually feel really nice. We're there in the 50s and 60s. The reason why we're in the 60s is cloud cover. And when that cloud cover moves on out, it's not going to really rise that much. We'll only be in the 60s later on this afternoon. And so your weekend planner shapes up like this. Much cooler conditions. You're going to feel that breeze. We're already at 15 to 25 mile per hour breeze outside as that front has now made its way through. And once you actually get the whole front on out of here, it'll actually push the cloud cover, take any showers, any type of rain over toward far eastern Kentucky and move it on out, move it toward West Virginia and Virginia. So for us, actually it looks really good this weekend. It's a dry front as it passes on through, but it is much cooler. 67 degrees. Listen, we just came off 4 consecutive days of temperatures in the low to mid 80s. 67 is going to feel pretty cool to a lot of us. If you're heading out there, remember you got the Run for the Donuts 5K at Mount Sterling kicking off this evening. Awesome event. Wish I could have been out there, but it's perfect weather for you guys. I mean, fantastic weather. 67 by the afternoon, 65 there towards your Sunday. So any events going on, anything happening this weekend, looks fantastic. It's going to be a little chilly, though, during the morning hours in some locations. Let's talk about Matthew, where it's located at this moment. Here is the actual eye. You could actually see the donut shape there on the screen. It hasn't exactly made landfall yet, but I mean, it might as well. I mean, it is right there on the coastline, maybe 5 miles out. So we do expect landfall, which by definition is the center part of the circulation actually coming in contact with the land. We do expect that to happen, but nonetheless, even if it doesn't happen, you're talking tremendous amounts of rain. Already 8 inches across the 95 and 26 corridors. And while I was telling you early on in the week not to go to Myrtle Beach this weekend, this is why. I know a lot of us have fall break coming up this coming week. Some of us just went through it, but some of us have it coming up. And maybe you're planning on heading out to Myrtle Beach. This is exactly the reason why you do not want to do that. Businesses are closed. Waters are just absolutely awful across the peninsula there of Florida and off toward Georgia and South Carolina at this moment. You got the storm surge coming on in. By the time it reaches Myrtle Beach, we're expecting it to be to a Category 1 hurricane. Still very strong winds, roughly 90 miles per hour. But it's the rain, anywhere from 10 to 20 inches of rain and storm surge flying on in there, coming off the coast. It just doesn't look good there for the Carolinas. And we're going to see that track back toward the Bahamas as we head toward next week. Unbelievable. For us, it's a good-looking weekend. We're there in the mid-60s, off toward Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. All looks well in the next 7 days around here, Michelle. So we're not doing all that bad.
It does look beautiful.
Yeah, it's really
Perfect fall
nice.
weather.
A nice feel outside.
Okay, so this next story is pretty interesting. Check this out. An animal farm in China lets pigs have some fun in the water.
Yeah, and these pigs can race, swim, and jump into the water. And it's all to try to get some cabbage leaves at the end. Now, farmers say they don't train the pigs to be athletic. They just act that way. Farmers say seeing the pigs doing exercises is their favorite part of the whole farm.
I did not know pigs did exercises. Did you?
I didn't either. Yeah, we got a lot more coming up on WKYT this morning. Interesting stories like that and more on your forecast.
Yeah, we'll be right back. So before we go to break, tonight's Powerball jackpot is $91 million and Tuesday night's Mega Millions jackpot, $49 million. We'll be right back.
Kentucky mornings start here. You're watching WKYT This Morning.
Welcome back to WKYT This Morning. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday. So for decades, trains have roared through the hillsides of eastern Kentucky. Now 3 counties have taken some of those abandoned rail lines and turned them into trails where people can walk, run, or ride a bike. As WKYT Sam Dick shows us, the rails to trails have become a source of pride, an economic shot in the arm, and a place to unwind.
The fog is still thick on an early morning drive on the Mountain Parkway. 90 minutes from Lexington, we turn onto Route 7 in Magoffin County and stop at the trailhead for the Dawkins Line Rail Trail.
This was originally used for the lumber mill, and then it was used, of course, Chesapeake Coal headed in between those times.
The rails are gone, but the path the trains took still take you deep into some of Kentucky's most beautiful land. Victoria Doucette and others who live near the town of Royalton fought hard for their vision. Through grants and state funding, the rail line was transformed into a trail of beauty and adventure.
I think a lot of people take a lot of pride in this now through just thinking of people that come from other states to visit their area. Besides, they just really like using the trail themselves. There's lots of people that ride or hike this trail locally 3 and 4 times a week.
Local people like Sheila Poe, who we met resting on a trail bench.
I love it because of the nature, peace and quiet, and it's just stress-free. I walk on it, ride bikes on it, jog on it.
She's witnessed the fitness benefits.
Definitely. One of the best. I have lost 40 pounds in 3 months using this trail. And I come here for privacy because where I'm heavier, you know, heavier people don't want to be seen out in public jogging, so I come here and it's private. And it's just, like I said, it's really peaceful.
The 18 miles cross bridges, snake through woods and fields, pass by rock walls, and include an old train tunnel.
So here we are inside the tunnel, and I got to tell you, it's amazing. It's about 15 or 20 degrees, or at least it feels like that, cooler than the outside. So it's natural air conditioning on a hot summer, fall, or even a spring day. It's just so refreshing. 750 feet long. To think that decades ago trains went right through this tunnel.
We're told that much of the credit for this trail goes to a former First Lady.
It's been a great opportunity to bring new business, to develop the economy in those 3 counties around the tourist trade. We have found that people come from all over.
Local people, you know, it lets them see what a future they have, that people would take their time to come to Royalton on a vacation or spend their days off from work to come here.
So beautiful. The Dawkins Line Rail Trail goes through Magoffin, Johnson, and Breathitt counties. Another part of the trail that is an even longer tunnel is not finished yet. Your time now is 6:22 on this Saturday morning. There's still more to come on WKYT this morning. Sports is next.
It's actually really nice this morning. We're looking over in Jenkins. That's over toward Pike County, and you can see the roads are wet in that area just due to the fact that you had some rain overnight, but now that's starting to shift on out of here and get into West Virginia and also Virginia. So we really don't have much to worry about. If you're heading out toward the Jenny Wiley Festival going on over in Prestonsburg today, looks like that rain has moved on out and you should be good to go the rest of the day. Frankfort looks pretty good, 61 degrees. There you go, Lexington coming in at 62. And the reason why we're in the 60s over toward the east and central zones and 50s west, cloud cover. But once that moves on out, it's going to be a beautiful day in store. Let's check out sports, see what's going on.
Good morning, everyone. Kentucky looks like an improved football team over the past 2 weeks, and now the Cats return home with a slight favorite to beat Vanderbilt this afternoon. Mark Stoops believes that his team has made good strides over the last few weeks despite the loss at Alabama. And one thing that may have gone unnoticed is the play of the Cats special teams, now coached by Matt House, who's in his first season.
I love what he does, and you know, he has great passion and energy, and our guys are very detailed, but we have a lot of players, and that does put some stress on our guys too, because a lot of them are playing on offense and defense, and they have to play on those special teams units, and you know, it takes its toll on us, but we've done a very good job. Matt's done a great job, and our kickers have done a very good job.
Well, Vanderbilt has been involved in some close games this season. The Commodores lost 13-6 last week at Florida, or to Florida. They lost a close game to South Carolina to start the season. They won a close game in overtime over Western Kentucky. Now, Derek Mason expects his team to play well later this afternoon.
This team hasn't been jaded at all in his spirit about, you know, playing the game, approaching practices, you know, doing the work that needs to be done. I mean, the mindset is a proactive mindset. It's not okay, well, woe is me. This group doesn't feel sorry for itself. You know, what's happened to us in those games can be traced back to our own issues. not somebody else's issue. So those are things that we can control, and I believe that this group, fully expects to play well this weekend.
It's Vandy and Kentucky. Wildcat fans, remember how this one turned out last year. It's a 4 o'clock kickoff on the SEC network. And of course, we will have your highlights right here on WKYT coming up tomorrow night at 6 and 11. That'll do it for your morning sports. Have a great day.
Now at 6:30 on WKYT this morning, Hurricane Matthew has moved past Georgia and is now firmly in South Carolina. But will it move west and make landfall? Donald Trump is coming under fire for comments he made more than 10 years ago about women. And this time he is apologizing. And we take a look at a crime alert on UK's campus with a warning to be on the lookout for people throwing water and using racist slurs. That's all coming up on WKYT this morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. I'm Michelle Chamberlain. It is Saturday, October 8th. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, we've been keeping an eye on Hurricane Matthew, and it's currently in South Carolina. We've not been impacted by the weather here in Kentucky. Now, meteorologist Micah Harris joins us now. Really, we've had beautiful weather this fall so far.
It's been fantastic. Now, the past 4 days we've been in the 80s. It's been much warmer than average being in the lower 70s. But let me tell you this, we're going to have a forecast unlike the past few days for today. Check it out. We're in the 60s and 50s. It's not a bad feel this morning. You got that breeze going on early this morning. This is going to be a great morning for all you runners, all you that like to exercise early on outside. It's fantastic weather. By the afternoon, we're at 67 degrees. That means your Keeneland forecast looks great. No problems whatsoever. It's going to be a different feel than yesterday, I promise you that. Defender Radar Network, not much going on. Now, we had some rain over toward far eastern Kentucky overnight, but let me tell you this, it is now fading, and there is Hurricane Matthew. Where does it go? Will it make landfall? And how is that going to impact our weather, if any at all, this weekend? I'll get right into that in just about 10 minutes.
Thank you, Micah. Hurricane Matthew is now a Category 2 storm, and as you can see, it's already hitting South Carolina. Now, the hurricane has killed 4 people in Florida and more than 300 in Haiti. Matthew moved through Georgia overnight. It has also knocked out power in more than 1 million homes and businesses. Matthew is a Category 2 because its winds have dropped to 105 miles per hour. South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley says she wants anyone who decided to stay home to find a safe place.
The best thing now is to just hunker down, stay in a safe place, don't move, don't try and move around, make sure you have your cell phones charged.
Forecasters say the storm is expected to move into North Carolina by Saturday night before heading off to sea. And one Lexington woman is trying to keep an eye on missionary service in Haiti after the storm. Diane Cornelius had her flight canceled to Haiti after the storm ripped through the country, killing hundreds. Cornelius' colleague Jody Castillo is on the island right now. Internet and power is spotty there, so the only way they can talk to each other is through an app called Boxer. Cornelius says Castillo tries to give her regular updates on the devastation.
Well, she has said that her village is just completely destroyed. I mean, they are, they're trying to pick up the pieces. Even as of yesterday, around 11 a.m., they were not even able to get out because it was so muddy. The mudslides coming down from the mountains. She lives near a mountain range, and just the mud coming down just flooded the streets.
Cornelia says she plans to reschedule her visit and continue her missionary work in January. One Kentucky family is trying to spend its last day in Florida having a little fun after waiting out Hurricane Matthew. Becky Miner and her family were trying to enjoy a vacation at Cocoa Beach when Hurricane Matthew hit. So the Lexington family had to stay with family in Titusville until the storm passed. Now Miner says she plans on taking her son to Disney World today for their last day in Florida. She says the storm was something she has never experienced before.
And when it comes, it doesn't come in full like sheets or downpours. It's just a continual rain and wind.
If all goes well, the Miner family plans to fly back to Lexington tonight. And for the latest updates on the storm, keep checking our website, WKYT.com, or you can download the WKYT News app for free in the app or Google Play Store. Another major national news this morning, Donald Trump's campaign is in crisis just a day away from the second presidential debate. They're trying to put out another fire, this time over a leaked video in which the Republican presidential nominee makes sexist remarks about women. Craig Boswell has more on Campaign 2016.
I was wrong, and I apologize.
Overnight, Donald Trump released this video statement in which he apologized for crude comments he made about women in a leaked video.
I moved on her, and I failed. I'll admit it. Whoa. I did try and her. She was married.
The 2005 video, obtained by the Washington Post, captures Donald Trump apparently unaware he is being recorded.
I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
Whatever you want.
Grab them by the I can do anything.
Trump says the release of the 11-year-old video is nothing but a distraction.
Bill Clinton has actually abused women, and Hillary has bullied, attacked, shamed, and intimidated his victims.
Fallout from the video was harsh and came quickly from both sides of the aisle.
Any Republican who has said they are for Donald Trump, they need to be asked by the press and others and by constituents right now, do you still think he's qualified to be President of the United States?
Some Republicans say no and are withdrawing their support.
I'm out. I can no longer, in good conscience, endorse this person for president. It is some of the most abhorrent and offensive comments that you can possibly imagine.
At a rally Friday night in Rossford, Ohio, Trump's running mate Mike Pence refused to answer questions shouted by reporters about the tape. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Now, Trump was to join Speaker of the House Paul Ryan at a campaign event today in Wisconsin, but Pence will now attend instead. The University of Kentucky Police Department is issuing a warning to all students and staff to be on the lookout. They say a group of people have been driving around and throwing water on people and using racist slurs. Police say it happened on Huguelet Drive between Rose Street and South Limestone. WKYT's Mike Byer is live on UK's campus now with what you should look out for. Mike?
Good morning, Michelle. UK police say these recent incidents have them concerned. According to a recent press release they sent out, multiple people have been hit with water on campus and even had racial slurs yelled at them. Now, police say a woman had this happen to her on Thursday night on Huguelet Drive on campus. After conducting an investigation, police tell us more people came forward saying the same thing happened to them. Police say if you see something, say something. They also say to keep your cell phone close so that you can call for help in case of an emergency. Now, here's a look at the car which was captured by surveillance at the scene. As you can see, it's a silver four-door car, but unfortunately this is the only description we have. Now, with multiple reports of these incidents, UK police say to be vigilant when around campus and to not hesitate to call them if you do see something out of the ordinary. Live on UK's campus, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Thank you, Mike. A child is in the hospital after a crash in Madison County. It happened on northbound I-75 around exit 83 near Richmond. Police say a car ran off the road down an embankment and flipped. They say a child was in the car and taken to Kentucky Children's Hospital, but the child's condition is not known. Police aren't sure what caused the crash. Some people staying in a Lexington hotel are safe this morning after a fire broke out overnight. Now, this happened around 10 o'clock last night at the Clarion Hotel on Athens-Boonesboro Road near Interstate 75. Firefighters say the fire started around the pool and fitness area, but the sprinkler system kept it from spreading too far. Firefighters say it caused little damage to the building. Now, the hotel was evacuated, but guests were quickly allowed back inside. Firefighters say the sprinkler system was the key to keeping this fire from spreading.
The sprinkler system, kept this fire in check. Without that system, that very well easily could have spread to the rest of the hotel.
There were no injuries reported, and firefighters are now looking into what may have caused that fire. A Laurel County man is behind bars after police say he shot at officers. 63-year-old Roy Hibbard is charged with 4 counts of wanton endangerment. Police say they were looking for a man who assaulted a deputy in Corbin. That's when they say Hibbard fired shots at them. Police say they did not shoot back. Hibbard's relatives told us he was just protecting himself.
And Roy thought that he was trying to break in on him, so Roy come out shooting. So, we got to do something about all this problem that we're having.
Police say they confiscated Hibbard's gun when they arrested him. State lawmakers have announced plans to strengthen Kentucky's laws against drugs causing overdoses. Attorney General Andy Beshear and other lawmakers say the legislation would create tougher penalties on drugs such as fentanyl and carfentanil and other drugs.
It's the greatest challenge that faces our Commonwealth, that not only are we facing the scariest drugs that we've ever seen, but we are facing a scarier drug every day and those that are on the horizon. It is truly the challenge of our times.
Earlier this year, more than a dozen people overdosed in a 5-hour span in Montgomery County. Paramedics there said all of the overdoses were because of fentanyl. The bill will be considered during the General Assembly beginning in January. A Republican state representative will not take part in a committee investigation with Governor Matt Bevin. Now, David Floyd was one of the 2 Republicans placed on the committee by Democratic House Speaker Greg Stumbo. Floyd said he had to turn down the appointment because of some family concerns. Stumbo says the committee will look into whether the governor broke the law by trying to convince some Democratic lawmakers to switch parties. The governor has denied doing anything wrong. Leaders from across Kentucky met for the All-Take Innovation Forum in Pike County. The forum hosts entrepreneurs to show off new opportunities for investing in Kentucky. It also focuses on using state resources and building sustainable industries in the state.
We have more waterfront than any other state in the Union, except for Alaska. And that's something we need to promote, we need to develop, and we need to continue to expand. All-Tech held another innovation forum in Bowling Green. Now let's take a look at what's happening today around central Kentucky. Keeneland, it's off and it's looking good for day 2 of the fall meet. In day 1, Keeneland set an attendance record with just under 20,000 people showing up. That is 800 more people than the previous record, which was set in 2011. Now today there will be 10 races with 5 graded stakes. It will be headlined by $1 million Shadwell Turf Mile. Gates open at 11. Racing starts at 1:05 this afternoon. And over in Georgetown, the first ever Gay Pride Festival in the town. Georgetown Fairness is hosting the event in order to try and pass a non-discriminatory law for Georgetown. The festival starts at 11 and goes until 2 this afternoon at Royal Spring Park. Organizers say they chose October 8th because it's close to October 12th, which is National Coming Out Day. Your time now is 6:42 on WKYT this morning. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday. There's still plenty of news coming up. A boy with cancer got to have the best day of his life, and he was being a firefighter. That story after Micah's forecast.
Boy, the front's making its way through, and really, fall is in the air. You can absolutely feel it outside early this morning. We're in the 50s and 60s now, but do we even reach the 70s today? I'm going to show you that in your forecast coming up next. Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm meteorologist Micah Harris getting you updated with what's going on outside, and we're seeing that rain over toward far eastern Kentucky slowly but surely make its way off into West Virginia and Virginia, so we really don't have to deal with that anymore as we travel throughout your day. So all in all, I don't see any problems as you're walking outside early this morning. We do have some events going on today. Don't forget you got downtown days going on in Columbia as we head throughout the afternoon too, and it looks pretty good there in Columbia. I don't see many problems in Adair County as we're now starting to see that cloud deck slowly but surely make its way eastbound. That's why we're sitting there in the 60s, and that's why we're at 68 degrees in Harlan. And then you work your way back, say, toward Louisville or Fort Knox, E-Town. We're sitting there in the mid-50s, so we'll watch that cool air drive on in here, and as the cloud deck moves on out, it'll drop those temperatures on the back edge of this. So that's really what we're dealing with early this morning. It's a nice feel. If you're one of those gets out and does a little exercise during the morning hours, I don't see any problems for you. Let's talk about your Keeneland forecast, because Keeneland, boy, it's going to look good. Remember, yesterday we actually broke a record, almost 20,000 people for a Friday at Fall Meet, opening day of Keeneland. There are a lot of people out there enjoying that weather. It's going to be even nicer today. I will say this, though. It's going to be very breezy, 15 to 25 miles per hour. That means those hats you put on, those dresses, you got to watch it, though. It gets pretty breezy out there as you're heading out and about. So just keep that in mind, but much cooler, too. We're at 67. Remember, this is 4 to 5 p.m. That means by noontime, you'll be roughly 60, 62 degrees. With that breeze, that might be a little cool for some people. Heading off towards Sunday, it's definitely a cool one. It's 65 degrees. Now let's talk about Matthew as it just rolls along the shore of South Carolina. We talked about it all last week, or this past week, rather. Myrtle Beach, you just don't want to go there. If you have any fall break, you got to wait. I would say as of right now, just looking at the particular models, I would say wait until maybe even Monday if you can. If you have all next week off, wait until Monday to actually leave, because you're still looking at that having effects into Sunday. Here's Saturday at 6 p.m. Later on this afternoon, off into the evening hours, it is right over Myrtle Beach. You're looking in this area, 10 to 20 inches of rain. And the storm surge is just not going to look good there for South Carolina and North Carolina. But then, as we approach Sunday afternoon, there's noontime. You can see it's off in the ocean. However, you're still going to get effects and some storm surge and nasty rain out of that. So just wait until Monday morning to really take off. It'll be long gone by then, and then it loops back around. I mean, you're talking about it going back into the Bahamas into next week. Around here, I don't see any problems. It looks pretty good. Only that 10% chance of rain I put in there just for far eastern Kentucky, and that's it. We are dry pretty much everywhere you go through today. It is a good-looking day. I know we have the clouds out and about right now. It won't look good when you wake up early this morning and look outside. Wait until you hit the afternoon. We're talking 67 today, 65 tomorrow. Fantastic weather. We'll take it.
I love that Keeneland weather. We went out there yesterday. We took our 2 little kids.
Nice.
It was beautiful. It was really perfect. It was packed.
It was packed.
I will say.
Record breaking. There you go. But still very nice. You're right.
Thank you, Micah. So Massachusetts boy, well, you're actually going to stay here, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna hang
you're
out
going
with
to
you.
read this with me. So a boy sick with cancer got the opportunity of a lifetime to be a firefighter for a day.
And the 8-year-old boy is dealing with terminal brain stem cancer. But for one day, he got to live out his dream as a firefighter. He had a surprise pizza party and was sworn in as a firefighter. He even got to shoot off the fire hose, which all kids love. Riley says he had a great, fantastic day. How cute is that?
That is
little
awesome.
Man? So
I love
cute.
that he got to have that dream.
Those are great stories.
Your time now is 6:48. There's somewhere to come on this Saturday morning. We'll take a look at your money when we come back.
Why some Americans are willing to take a pay cut and how much is a letter worth. I'm Karina Mitchell with those stories coming up in your CBS Money Watch report.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. So United Technologies will cut its pension liabilities by more than $1.7 billion this year. And some Americans are willing to take up to a 21% pay cut to work from home. Karina Mitchell has the latest on your money.
Investors will wait to see if Wall Street can rally after closing lower Friday. The Dow fell 28 points while the Nasdaq dropped 14. United Technologies will cut its pension liabilities by more than $1.7 billion this year. The maker of Otis Elevator says it will offer lump sum payments to about 10,000 retirees and will transfer management of another 36,000 of its retirees' pension plans to Prudential Insurance to reduce costs. And some Americans are willing to take up to a 21% pay cut to work from home. That's according to researchers from Harvard and Princeton who surveyed people currently employed or in the job market. The poll also finds only 9% of U.S. workers say they currently have the option to do so. And a letter from the highest-ranking crew member to survive the sinking of the Titanic is going up for auction this month in the UK. Estimates for the poignant letter written to a friend of the ship's assistant surgeon range from $12,000 to almost $19,000. And that's your Money Watch. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. In New York, I'm Karina Mitchell.
Welcome back to WKYT this morning. Thanks so much for joining us on this Saturday. And it is beautiful outside, and there's a lot going on your Saturday morning. Here's a look at some of the events that are taking place today. In Mount Sterling, there will be a 5K honoring a fallen state trooper. The Run for the Donuts 5K starts at 8:30 this morning at Easy Walker Park. The race is being put on by the Fraternal Order of Police and Wives Behind the Blue. The winner will receive the Trooper Anson Blake Tribby Memorial Award. It is named after Trooper Blake Tribby, who was killed in an accident. WKYT's Amber Philpott will be there as the MC of the event. And Keeneland is looking to have a great day 2 of their fall meet today. In day 1, Keeneland set an attendance record with just under 20,000 people showing up. It was about 800 more people than the previous record, which was set in 2011. Today, there will be 10 races with 5 graded stakes. It will be headlined by the $1 million Shadwell Turf Mile. Racing starts at 1:05 this afternoon, and it's going to be a beautiful day out there at Keeneland, right?
It really is. And I'm not one that, I've never had long hair, but I can only imagine if you go out there with long hair like you have and just down, that wind is going to blow it everywhere.
See, that's a pretty look.
You like,
it's like having a fan.
Yeah, I guess if you put a fan on you. Yeah,
like
you're right about that.
You know?
So there you go. It's going to be an awesome day for you with long hair. 58 degrees there in Frankfort, 60 degrees in Lexington. You see Jenkins, that's actually in Pike County, and that's where we had some rain overnight. That's why you see the wet roadways. But other than that, that has moved on out. Looks pretty good as we head toward the afternoon. Remember, breezy, much cooler, but really, really nice.
Sounds great. We'll be back with another hour of news, weather, and sports.